In this video, we are going to show you how to do uploads to Microsoft SharePoint with Mail and Deploy. For this example, we have prepared a report. It is called Sales Rep Analysis Report. And we have already prepared a task, which we are going to go through now. So first of all, we are going to have to set variables that we will need for the report. In this case, we will set the current month, the current year and the day of the week as variables. The day of the week we will need as a string. In the next step, we are going to filter the day of the week in our supporting app in Qlik-Sense. We have the supporting app right here. In our example, we are going to filter for Tuesday. It leaves us with 2 people. And what's important about the supporting app, in this case, is the SharePoint flag and the email flag. So does the person want it as an email or does the person want it to upload to SharePoint or both? Now the next thing we are going to have to do is to cycle through our sales reps from the supporting app. And then we are going to set variables whether they want an email or upload it to Microsoft SharePoint. And then we are also going to set a file name. We called it the file name link in this example. It is basically our file name with the first name, space, last name and then the date. But since we need an URL, we cannot have a blank space here. So we are going to replace the blank space with the blank space encoding for the URL. Another way to do it is you could just to name it differently. So in this case, you could replace it with an underscore and then use this variable for your file. Now we click OK. Then we are having a group which checks if there is a flag because it might be there is none. So Mail and Deploy is going to skip that. And then Mail and Deploy is going to create the report document and call it Sales Rep Report. Here we are going to set the parameters that we need, the current month and the current year as local variables. Hub or task is something we need for the report. Then we have the sales rep's name as a cycle value, and we have show revenue as another parameter which is whether they are allowed to see revenue or not. So the report will be different just also in the supporting app. We click OK. Then we have another group in our task whether they want an email or not. If they want an email, Mail and Deploy will send them an email in the attachment. And then we have a second group, whether they want a document uploaded to Microsoft SharePoint or not. Now, first of all, we are going to send an email to notify the person that there has been an upload. Why we are going to send an email first? It is simply because if there is an issue with the upload, then the person is still going to get an email before the cycle is aborted by Mail and Deploy. And then they know, okay, there is something supposed to be on SharePoint, but if there is nothing, then they can inform the person in charge. So what we have to make sure of is that the file name here is the same as in the next step where we are going to define the link. Now we are going to upload the report to Microsoft SharePoint. We want a report document with the sales rep report that we created earlier. In this case, we want it in SharePoint Online. Then we need a URL of SharePoint and the credentials, and finally the path to the folder where you want it to open. If we open the editor, you can see the whole remote path. Here we are going to use the variable for the file name link, which we created earlier. So there are no blank spaces. And as we mentioned earlier, this has to be the same as the link in the email. Alright, now we click OK. OK. And once again OK. And now we are going to execute the task. This might take a minute. We can follow it in the execution status. And then you are going to see the result with both the email and the SharePoint upload like the end user is going to see it. Perfect, and now we are going to show you the result in Microsoft Outlook. Basically, since there were 2 flags for that they want an email and the upload to SharePoint, we have here the email with the report attached, and then we also have the link to SharePoint. When we click the link, it gets us to the finished report. And that's it. Thanks for watching.